Yo, it's your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, back at you with a new video. Today is Wednesday, July 2nd, 2025, with your boy Ryan and the Northwest Sports Fanatics. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Smash that like button either now or on your way out. Donate to your boy if you can. Cash App $sign ORIONNWSF or the YouTube Super Chat right here. We got the Kansas City Royals versus the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Wednesday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left is the shortstop stud, Bobby Witt Jr., and on the right, it's Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Kansas City Royals. Leading off for the Kansas City Royals at second base, Jonathan India. Batting second, playing shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. Batting third, playing first base, Vinny Pasquantino. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, third baseman, Michael Garcia. Batting fifth, DHing today for the Royals, Salvador Perez. Batting sixth, playing right field, Jack Caglione. Batting seventh, playing left field, Drew Waters. Batting eighth, catching today for Kansas City, Freddie Fermin. And batting ninth, playing center field, Kyle Isbell. And on the mound for the Royals with a 2-4 record and ERA of 2.79, it is Noah Cameron. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners at shortstop, J.P. Crawford. Batting second, playing center field, Julio Rodriguez. Batting third, playing left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, Donovan Solano. Batting fifth, DHing today for Seattle, Jorge Polanco. Batting sixth, catching today for Seattle, Mitch Garver. Batting seventh, playing right field, Dylan Moore. Batting eighth, playing third base, Ben Williamson. And batting ninth, playing second base, Cole Young. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, 2-2 record with an ERA of 3.55. It is Logan Gilbert. And we're going to be shooting for 100 likes on the stream and 100 on the Dono train. First pitch is going to be coming up here in just a moment. So let me get a few of my screens settled in here and we'll be good to go. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Wednesday. On the mound for the Mariners, again, 2-2 record with an ERA of 3.55, Logan Gilbert. Leading off for the Royals, baseman Jonathan India. On deck is shortstop stud Bobby Witt Jr. And batting third, first baseman Vinny Pasquantino. Jerry in the building, what's good? And they don't have Cal Raleigh in the regular lineup today. Obviously, congratulations to Big Dumper for being the starting catcher of the American League and making the All-Star game and starting, which is fantastic. But again, we may see Cal Raleigh pinch hit later in the matchup. Again, not the greatest lineup for Logan Gilbert, arguably our best pitcher, not named Brian Wu in 2025. But I do think based on what happened yesterday, hopefully we can get some of the, underperforming individuals to step up today. And there still is a chance that we see Cal pinch hit late in the game, depending on what the score is. And then obviously he'll be in the lineup for sure tomorrow with Brian Wu on the mound. And we're just getting settled in and getting ready for first pitch momentarily. .44-41 record, 21-20 at home for the Mariners, and then for the Kansas City Royals, this is kind of new territory for them. 40-46, 20-22 on the road, not something that they're used to there. And here we go. 1-1 pitch, and grounded out, and that was an easy out there. Down goes Jonathan India, one away. Next up is Bobby Witt Jr. First pitch high and inside. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Bobby Witt Jr. Let's go, Logan. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Bobby Witt Jr. right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Gilbert on the mound. Bobby Witt Jr. in the box. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Witt. Yeah, there'll be a good chance. I mean, if Cal can continue his run, the most realistic choice is always going to be Aaron Judge from the American League and Shohei Ohtani from the National League. But just to be in the conversation of actually having a chance against someone like Aaron Judge or Shohei Ohtani is pretty impressive. And remember, Cal Raleigh is number 1 in MLB in homers right now with 33. Shohei and Aaron Judge coming into today's games were at 30. So definitely 3 amazing players. And we'll see where it, kind of goes after the All-Star break. And Bobby Witt Jr. on the 1-2 pitch. Nice single to right for Bobby Witt Jr. Next up is Vinny Pasquantino. First pitch to Pasquantino from Gilbert. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 0-1 count. And Witt, nice jump there and steals second easily. Top of the first inning, runner at second with 1 out. 0-0 early on with the Royals and the Mariners. And we know guys like Cole Young and Ben Williamson are going to have to step up at the bottom of the order. But hopefully we get a good outing here out of Logan Gilbert. We're going to need it. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second, Bobby Witt Jr. with 1 out. Top of the first inning, 0-0 Royals and Mariners. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Tries to paint that corner with the splitter and just misses by Logan Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out. Anna in the building, what's good? No Cal Raleigh in the lineup, but we may see him pinch hit later in the matchup. Definitely one of the most raw lineups we've had in quite some time, especially if you see Dylan Moore starting. So there's a little bit of concern there, considering Logan is one of our best pitchers. We were hoping to have a really strong lineup for him. And This is actually one of the weaker lineups we've had, but, again, you never know. Some of these, kind of role players may end up having a special type of game, and, I have faith in Logan on getting the job done here today. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Pasquantino. And Logan with a 2-2 record coming in, injured for a chunk of the early part of the season, 3.55 ERA. And hopefully within a few more starts, we'll be able to get that ERA below 3. Top of the first, runner at second, Bobby Witt Jr. getting a single and stealing second a few minutes ago. We have 1 out and definitely going to need a strikeout and then a pop-up or ground out, or possibly a double play if we can get it here early. How you doing today, Anna? 3-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away with that slider, 87 miles an hour by Walter, aka Logan Gilbert. 3 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at second and 1 out. And we're going to be shooting for 100 likes, like we do on every single stream here moving forward, and obviously 100 on the Dono train. Let's go, baby. We need a strong start. We don't want to be giving up a lot of runs early. We want to set the tone. 3-2 pitch, and that is a walk to Vinny Pasquantino. A little bit of a raw start here for Logan Gilbert, but that's kind of been, what we've been up to lately. It doesn't matter if it's Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, George Kirby, Luis Castillo, Emerson Hancock, who got sent down today, as well as Zach Pop. We will see Emerson Hancock get called back up, potentially within a few days, but they wanted to bring in another reliever, another pitcher to, give us a little bit of depth since he pitched yesterday. So we'll see where it goes and what they decide to do moving forward. Now we got runners at first and second here in the top of the first and 1 out. Definitely need a double play now. First pitch to Michael Garcia. First pitch to Garcia. Big swing and a miss, high and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Low and away with the 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Garcia. It's crazy too, because early in the year, starting pitching was good. The bullpen wasn't, and the hitting really wasn't. Then we went on our 9 consecutive series win streak, and everything was good, right? Starting pitching, bullpen, hitting, everything was, easy peasy lemon squeezy. But then now the starting pitching is starting to kind of battle, and it's not really as dominant as it was early in the year. But the bullpen has been good, excluding a couple, negative outings like Zach Pop and Andres Munoz blowing the save for us a couple days ago. But overall, the bullpen has been pretty fucking good. And then obviously hitting has been pretty good as well. I mean, it could be better in certain games, but overall, you got to think we were a 220 hitting team or worse, last year. And we only got 1 guy in the lineup today that's batting 220, and that's Demo, and he's not even a regular player. So we've come a long ways with Edgar Martinez and Seitzer, as well as Ichiro, chipping in and helping out with obviously everyone's batting statistics and technique. Pitches low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Garcia. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle. Nice souvenir for that fan there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second and 1 out. And the last thing that we need is arguably our best pitcher on the team besides Brian Wu this year to struggle. And we do have Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. So this will be interesting. And also you have to take in consideration, Logan is not pitching to Cal, which he normally does. He's pitching to Mitch Garver. So Mitch Garver calling this game and calling some of the pitches is not going to be as strong as Cal, behind the plate. But, Mitch can call a game. And obviously we know that the only thing that he really struggles at is hitting. But we'll see what we can get here today. 2-2 pitch. And thankfully Garcia flies out to left. We needed that. 2 away. Next up, DHing today, Salvador Perez. Runners at first and second with 2 outs with Logan Gilbert on the mound. Let's go, Logan. We need that electricity, and I don't mind, a walk here, a hit there, a plunk here, a plunk there, as long as the guys don't come home. You can have a couple guys on per inning, if it's going to be that type of game, as long as they don't come home. And obviously the magic number is for Logan Gilbert or any of our starters to give up 3 runs or less. And obviously our magic number will be 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits for the offense. We hit that, we should have a good chance. First pitch from Gilbert to Perez, takes a strike looking low in the zone, 0-1 count. Come on, Logan. Let's keep this at a 0. Oh, 1 pitch in play, and that is strongly hit by Perez. A thorn in our side. Bobby Witt Jr. scores 1-0 Kansas City. Tough. Not the start that we were looking for. Next up, in the 6-hole, right fielder Jack Caglione. And we definitely have to limit the damage here. They've already scored 1. We don't want them to score any more. Keep it at 1. Come on, Logan. And there is a chance that we may see Logan Evans get called up. Jackson Kowar, a few of these other individuals that need some opportunities to play. And down goes Caglione for out number 3. They leave 2 stranded, but they do get 1 to come in. And I guess in a perfect world, we'd be at 0-0. But again, the Royals are feeling pretty fucking confident after their win yesterday. And obviously we took game 1 and we were feeling pretty good with that one, winning 6-2. But then they came back yesterday and whooped us 6-3. And now they have an early 1-0 lead. And it's going to be very key, for the guys at the top of the order to produce early and often. And that definitely means JP Crawford. We need him to get a hit or 2 in his, first 2 at-bats. And again, that kind of sets the tone. And we don't have Cal Raleigh in the starting lineup. We may see him later in the game pinch hit in the 7th, 8th, or 9th. But until then, we're going to have to do it without him. And there is a chance that they may not even play him at all today. So we have to make sure we embrace that possibility as well. Leading off for the Mariners, shortstop JP Crawford. We need a big game today. Batting second, center fielder. He went 0 for 4 yesterday. Unacceptable. We need you to step up. It has to be at least a 2 for 4 kind of day today for Julio. Hopefully we get that. And batting third, a man that's hit 3 home runs in the last few games, Randy Arozarena. Game 1, he hit 2. Yesterday, he hit 1. And we may need Randy to hit 1 today if he can, to kind of keep us in it with Cal not in the starting lineup. Let's go, baby. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes before the stream ends. We're looking for 20 likes within the first hour, 50 at the halfway point, and over 100 if we can get that number. And then obviously 100 in the donos on every single stream. Let's go, baby. And we're only at 14 right now, so we only have about a third of the people in the room that have done it. Now we're at 16. Help us get to that 20 number sooner than later, and that'll help us with the metrics as well. All right, JP.
Oh my gosh.
Bottom of the first inning, JP Crawford in the box. And on the mound for the Royals, a 2-4 record with an ERA of 2.79, Noah Cameron. So this might be challenging early on. First pitch to JP Crawford, high and away, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away with that slider. 80 miles an hour there by Cameron. Behind in the count, 0-2. No balls and 2 strikes to JP Crawford. Come on, JP. And I wouldn't mind seeing a couple bunts drop down here today as well. It's going to be a tough one for the Mariners to win today. We got a better chance probably winning tomorrow with Brian Wu and Cal in the lineup tomorrow. But, I still think that we're going to have a chance, but the bats are going to have to come alive. 0-2 pitch, and JP grounds out to third. Throw to first. 1 away. Next up for the Mariners, center fielder Julio Rodriguez. And it's not like I'm picking on Julio, talking about how he went 0 for 4 and it's unacceptable. Cal Raleigh went 0 for 4 yesterday as well, and that's unacceptable, for the Mariners too. We need our best players to not go 0 for 4, let alone both go 0 for 4 in a game, and lo and behold, we lost. 1-1 pitch. Julio fouls that one off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Cameron to Julio. Come on, J-Rod. And it's not like we necessarily need the home runs today, which would be obviously best case scenario, Trident's up, but we just need Julio to be productive. Singles, doubles, and just getting on base. Let's go, Julio. 1-2 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And that's kind of been a regular thing for Julio lately, unfortunately. 2 away. Come on, J-Rod. Next up is left fielder Randy Arozarena. First pitch to Randy, right down the middle, takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, behind in the count 0-2 from Cameron to Arozarena. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the curve, 82 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Royals with a early 1-0 lead on the Mariners. And that was from Salvador Perez, who's always a thorn in our side. Single to left, and Bobby Witt Jr. scored, and that gave them the early 1-0 lead. 1-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees with the curve again, 84 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. We need a big game, especially with Cal not in the starting lineup. Come on, baby. Bring that electricity. Let's go. 2-2 pitch. And nice single to the shortstop. There we go, Randy. My boy. And again, finally, someone doing something productive for the Mariners here early. Nice job, Randy. Next up, in the cleanup spot today, first baseman Donovan Solano. Absolutely terrible player at the beginning of the year, was batting under 100, started off this first 40 at-bats, 4 for 40, but has gotten very consistent lately within the last month, and he's actually been one of our strongest hitters in that time span. So hopefully that'll be something that'll not only continue until the All-Star break, but post-All-Star break as well. We're going to need everyone to participate if we're going to make the playoffs as a wild card, if we're ever going to catch up to the Astros and win the division. Obviously, we got a ways to go, and the Astros have been extremely hot, so not ideal for us Mariner fans. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Cameron to Solano. Come on, Don. 2-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Cameron to Solano. Yeah, we'll always make sure we call out who needs to be called out, and we're going to definitely praise people that need to be praised. Just kind of unfortunate, that things ended up the way that they did, but 1-2 pitch, and Solano grounds out into the fielder's choice, and that is out number 3. We leave 1 stranded, and we're down 1-0 here in the end of the first inning. I'd really like to figure, out who Julio really is and what he is in the batter's box. And 4 years in, it feels like he's still searching on an identity of what he wants to be as a hitter, and as far as Cal goes, so go the Mariners. But as far as Julio goes, that's the Mariners' ceiling. When Julio does great, then we're really on our game. But again, it has to be both Julio and Cal. Cal will always keep us in games, but the ceiling, is going to be much higher, especially when Julio plays well. When he ends up going 3 for 4 and has a home run or a couple ribbies, that really kind of stamps how good we are in that particular game. But when we get these games where Julio's 0 for 4 and not very productive, it makes it that much harder to be able to win. And hopefully there'll be some type of identity that he can come across, instead of maybe trying to be a power hitter and trying to hit home runs, maybe just try to be the best singles hitter you can be. And then we can get, your batting average up and you're not having to press as hard for those moonshot swings every at bat. Because obviously he doesn't have the power like Cal. He's maxing out at like 20 to 29 home runs. We may never see Julio hit 30 to 50 home runs, even though we know he's got the athleticism, but he doesn't have the swing or the patience like Ken Griffey Jr. or Cal Raleigh, and it shows. So, sometimes we just have to accept what they are for who they are. All right, let's see who's up next here in the top of the second inning for the Kansas City Royals. Leading off, left fielder Drew Waters. Batting second, catcher Freddie Fermin. And batting third, center fielder Kyle Isbell. First pitch from Logan Gilbert to Drew Waters. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. No. No balls and 2 strikes to Drew Waters. Let's go, baby. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And there's the punch out that I've been waiting for. There you go, Logan. Nice job with the strikeout swinging from Drew Waters. 1 away. Down goes Drew. Next up, catcher Freddie Fermin. First pitch, low and away to Freddie Fermin. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 20 likes within the first hour. 50 at the halfway point around the 4th or 5th inning, and we're trying to shoot for 100 on the likes and 100 on the dono train. 1-0 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Fermin. All right, looks like we just broke the 20 number. Thank you guys so much. We're at 22. Still have half of the people in the room that haven't smashed that like button yet. Please do help us, increase our metrics. We've been doing very, very well lately with everyone's participation, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. We were going from, maybe about 1,000 to 1,500 regular viewers a few months ago. Now the stats have increased dramatically, and I'll get into that in a moment. 2-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Freddie Fermin. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off high and inside with that slider. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Fermin. Let's go, Logan. And again, I don't expect a 10K game today, but if we can get as close to 7 or 8 as possible, that's definitely going to help without Cal in the starting lineup. 2-2 pitch, fouled off again, right down the middle. Slider, 88 miles an hour by Gilbert. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Fermin. Come on, Gilbert. But we've got our returning viewers all the way up from 1,000 to 1,500, maybe 3-4 months ago. We're at 3,400 and it's climbing every day. So obviously 3,400 regular viewers, which is fantastic. We're getting people all over the globe, and it's not just in the United States. Venezuela, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Philippines, Canada, Japan, Colombia, Panama, Nicaragua, and Fermin strikes out swinging. There we go. Back-to-back Ks for Logan Gilbert. I love it, baby. I appreciate Logan and what he brings. 2 away. Nice job. Next up is Kyle Isbell. Let's go, baby. The United States, Venezuela, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Philippines, Canada, Japan, Colombia, Panama, Nicaragua, New Zealand, Australia, just to name a few. So if you are in the room and you are from one of those countries or from the good old US of A, I salute you. I appreciate you. Thank you for all of the new subs that we've acquired in 2025 as well as all of the OGs that have stuck with me for many, many years. Top of the second, 1-0 Royals lead. And now we have Kyle Isbell in the box. One pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Isbell. Let's see if we can get another punch out here. One-two pitch, low and away with that splitter. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Isbell. Top of the second inning, 1-0 Kansas City. 2-2 pitch, low and at the knees, low and away. Count now is full after that splitter misses. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Come on, Gilbert. Yeah, it's hard to be able to set the tone if we don't get our first run, after the 5th inning, but I think there will be a good chance that we'll be able to get 1 to 3 runs, hopefully, within the first 5 innings, so that way that we can keep pace with this Royals team who's confident after yesterday's win. 3-2 pitch, and that one is fouled off, low and at the knees. Slider 88 miles an hour by Gilbert. 3 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs with a 1-0 Royals lead. Let's go. All right, we're at 26 likes. 4 more to get to 30. Let's go, baby. 3-2 pitch. Fouled off again. Low and at the knees with the slider. 87 miles an hour. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs. And Gilbert, there you go, baby. Out number 3. Down goes Isbell. And let's go to the bottom of the second inning, and let's see if we can get on the board. Let's go. Next up for the Mariners in the 5-hole, DHing Jorge Polanco. Batting second, catching Mitch Garver. And batting third, getting a start for the first time in a long time, right fielder Dylan Moore. Maybe he'll be the guy that surprises us today. I hope so. All right, I'm going to go grab a drink here real quick. 1-0 Kansas City. Got to bring that electricity. Let's go, baby. Must-win game today and tomorrow. And the Pirates are hot. That's the opponent that we have, obviously, starting on the 4th of July. And I will be in Seattle for that first game. And Pirates are on a heater. They've won 6 in a row, but a lot of those have been at home. So once they go on their road record isn't as good, and we're not going to have to battle Skeens. So hopefully we can win 2 out of 3 or possibly have a good chance to sweep. But the bats have got to come alive, not only in this series, but in that Pirate series as well. All right, next up is Jorge Polanco. Let's go, Polo. First pitch from Cameron to Polo. Takes a strike looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. Noah Cameron, 2-4 record with an ERA of 2.79. So it's going to be tough early on. Let's go, Polo. Wheel and deal, baby. We need you. 0-1 pitch. In play and fouled out to first. 1 away. Next up, catching today for the Mariners, Mitch Garver. Had a great series against his former team, the Texas Rangers, especially in that last matchup with 2 home runs in that game to help us win and multiple RBIs. And hopefully Mitch can get back to that hot streak here. First pitch. Takes a strike looking high and away from Cameron. 0-1 count. 4-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour, paints the corner beautifully. All right, we're 3 likes away from 30. We're at 27. We're off to a good start. 35 minutes in. Bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Royals. 0-1 pitch, in play, and Garver grounds out to the catcher. Throw to first, 2 away. Next up, right fielder Dylan Moore. First pitch, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 1-0 count. Come on, Demo. Anything productive offensively would be a real treat since he hasn't been very good since the beginning of the year. And it's crazy to say, but he's got the 3rd most home runs in this particular lineup since Cal is out of the starting lineup today, getting introduced as a starting catcher in the All-Star game, which was awesome. But obviously it leaves a little bit of a hole in our lineup. And with 8 homers, all of them at the beginning of the year, we need him to be able to get to that player again, even though he's not an everyday player anymore. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike from Cameron to Dylan Moore. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cameron to Demo. 2-2 pitch. High and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and 2 outs. Dylan Moore in the box, Noah Cameron on the mound. And again, the lineup is probably one of the weaker lineups that we've had in quite some time. It's really going to be a tough battle, I feel, to even get to 3 today, but hopefully we can. And down goes Dylan Moore for out number 3. So again, when you look at this particular lineup that we have, JP, Julio, and Solano have to do their jobs. If we get anything out of Polo, Garv, and Demo, obviously that'll, maybe be the difference if we win or not. And then we definitely need Williamson and Young to be productive at the bottom of the order. Maybe they will be the unexpected heroes, the young guns from the Tacoma Rainiers that are rookies this year. All right, let's go to the top of the 3rd inning, and we're down 1-0. Next up for the Royals, 0-1, back at the top of the order, second baseman Jonathan India. Batting second, 1-1 with a run, shortstop Bobby Witt Jr. And batting third, 0-0 with a base on ball, first baseman Vinny Pasquantino. Trident's up, let's go M's. Judah in the building, what's good? Appreciate you. We're 1 more like away from 30. We're almost there. Let's go, baby. A quick recap in the game. Salvador Perez single to left. Bobby Witt Jr. scores. 1-0 Royals. So right now the Royals have 2 hits, no errors and a run. Mariners 0 runs, 1 hit so far, and we're definitely going to need a lot of production if we're going to be able to find a way. And Demo striking out swinging is nothing new to Seattle Mariner fans. It's something that we're kind of accustomed to, unfortunately, but hopefully he'll be able to get at least a hit today to be somewhat productive. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Kansas City. First pitch from Gilbert to India. Low and away with the slider. 88 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on, Ems. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and at the hips. Right there on the line with that slider. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. 1-1 pitch. Takes a strike looking right down the middle. 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour by Gilbert. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jonathan India. Let's go, Logan. And again, I don't expect a 10K game, but if we can get somewhere in that 4 to 7 range, that might be good enough. But we don't really know what we're going to get from the bullpen and what the score is going to be at that point once the starting pitchers go out. Hopefully we're on the board and we have at least a run or two. 1-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle with that slider. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. 1-0 Royals lead. Come on, Logan. We need you, baby. We need you to be strong. One-two pitch, fouled off again, right down the middle with the slider, 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to India. Come on, Logan. One-two pitch. In play, grounds out to second, throw to first, and got him. 1 away. There we go, baby. Next up for the Royals, shortstop Bobby Witt Jr. First pitch. Low and at the knees. Slider, 87 miles an hour by Gilbert, misses the corner. 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Bobby Witt Jr. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 50 likes at the halfway point. We're shooting for 100 on the likes and 100 on the dono train. 2-0 pitch. Low and at the knees. 3 balls and no strikes with nobody on and 1 out. And you can definitely tell starting pitching has been, a little suspect lately for the Mariners. Bullpen has been, pretty strong besides Zach Pop. The bats, are usually hit or miss, but most of the time, we're doing pretty good. But again, there are a few games within a series where the bats disappear and, hopefully we can change that. 3-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Top of the third inning, 1-0 Kansas City. Three-one pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle. Count now is full to Bobby Witt Jr. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Logan Gilbert to Bobby Witt Jr. 3-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. Nice souvenir for that fan. Slider, 87 miles an hour by Logan Gilbert. Count full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on and 1 out with a Royals 1-0 lead. Yeah, and those are the only people that are getting caught. I imagine there's a lot of NBA players and a lot of referees and, coaches that are involved. And that's kind of the, thing that you get when you make gambling legal. You're going to get people trying to cheat the system to win money for themselves or for their friends. And, you're always going to have that kind of aspect of the game with NFL, college football, college basketball, NBA, NHL, MLB. I mean, there's really, no sport that is going to not be affected, by gambling being legal. There will always be people trying to work the system. 3-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle from Bobby Witt Jr. Count still full, 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, and 1 out. We're in the top of the third with a Royals 1-0 lead. But this has been happening for years and years and years, point shaving and spreads, it really started in college basketball, back in like the 70s and the 80s, but they didn't really report it or talk about it too much. It was kind of shoved under the rug, but again, it's something that has been a problem for a long time. 3-2 pitch, and splitter misses the strike zone, and that is a 9-pitch walk for Bobby Witt Jr. Witt to first. Next up is first baseman Vinny Pasquantino. We need a slow dribbler right up the middle, hit to J.P. Crawford, a throw to Solano to get out of this inning. Come on, baby, let's go. All right, we hit 30 likes. Nice job, everyone. 20 more to go to get to that halfway point of 50. First pitch from Gilbert to Pasquantino. Takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Yeah, and obviously with Vegas and all of the betting sites like DraftKings and whatnot, there's a reason why the point spread is the point spread. Everything is calculated into an algorithm on a computer to go and look to see what the score has been every time that these teams have played, over the last, 5 to 10 years. And that's how they come up with a certain number. So that way that more times than not, the house is going to win, and that 0.5 really ends up being a big difference. Some teams might be able to win by, 3 points, but if the spread is 3.5, or something of that nature, sometimes that 0.5 is going to be the reason why you win, or maybe the reason why you lose. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Pasquantino. We need a double play here, baby. Let's go. One-two pitch, and big swing and a miss. Down goes Pasquantino. Another punch out by Logan Gilbert, my boy. There we go. Bring that electricity. 2 away. Next up, third baseman Michael Garcia. Got to get him out here. Force out at second, or we'll take a strikeout, pop up, or ground out. We got to keep the game close. This might be one of our worst lineups that we've had in a couple weeks. And not ideal when you have one of your best pitchers on the mound. And Cal Raleigh obviously has a day off to rest, but did get voted in as the starting catcher for the American League, which everyone knew that was going to happen. And definitely excited to be able to see Cal and the best all-star festivity, sport that we have, the MLB. Home Run Derby and the All-Star Game are always entertaining. And then I would probably go NHL, and then obviously with the Pro Bowl, that is lame as lame can be. And obviously I feel like the NBA All-Star Weekend has gone down considerably in recent years. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Michael Garcia. 1-1 pitch, and Garcia connects and flies out to right for out number 3. There we go. Logan has been a little shaky, but he's only given up a run. No big home runs yet, so I can live with that. 1-0 Royals. Let's get on the fucking board and tie it up now, huh? We need a solo dinger or back-to-back-to-back hits for an opportunity for maybe an RBI. Next up for the Mariners, in the 8-hole, third baseman Ben Williamson. Let's go, Big Ben. You've been good lately. Batting second in the 9-hole, second baseman, another individual that has been hot lately, Cole Young. Just a couple games ago, he had his 3-hit game. And again, anytime you can end up being a young gun and you can have a 3-for-4 day or a 3-for-5 day, it definitely helps the team win, which it did. Nice job, Cole. And batting third, 0 for 1, shortstop JP Crawford. We need JP to get hits if we're going to have any chance in this game today. And I wouldn't mind if he drops a bunt down. Again, we got half of the lineup is capable of dropping bunts. JP, Julio, Randy, Demo, Williamson, Young. So there's no excuse. We got plenty of talent, but it's just, will they do it? Bottom of the third inning, 1-0 Mariners. I wish. 1-0 Royals. We're at 30 likes, 20 more to get to 50, and then the ultimate goal will be a hundo. Let's go, baby. Let's go, Big Ben. First pitch to Big Ben from Noah Cameron. Takes a strike looking low and at the knees. 0-1 count. 2-4 record, but his ERA is 2.79. Just didn't get a whole lot of run support in his losses. And hopefully we can find a way to get at least a couple runs on Cameron early. But with a very weak lineup, that might be easier said than done. 0-1 pitch in play. And Williamson lines out to left. One away. Next up, second baseman Cole Young. Let's go, Cole. First pitch to Cole Young, high and inside with a four-seam fastball, 91 miles an hour by Cameron. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking low and away with the four-seam fastball, 92 miles an hour by Noah Cameron. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. Come on, Cole. Somebody's got to be a fucking hero today. 1-1 pitch. Low and away. Misses the plate by about 4 feet with the curveball there by Cameron. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the third with a 1-0 Royals lead. One-two pitch. Takes a strike looking. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cameron to Young. Come on, Cole. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off, low and away. Count still remains 2 balls and 2 strikes to Cole Young. 2-2 pitch. And big swing and a miss. Down goes Cole Young. 2 away. Next up, shortstop J.P. Crawford. First pitch to J.P. Crawford incoming momentarily. And again, we're going to need J.P. swagger at the top of the order. I don't want to get a 0 today. First pitch to J.P. Crawford, fouled off. Low and away. Cutter, 87 miles an hour by Noah Cameron. 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Cameron to J.P. Crawford. I mean, usually we don't bust out the Mariner Moose this early, but man, it's looking like we're going to need him more than ever. 1-1 pitch, takes a strike looking. 1 ball and 2 strikes to J.P. Crawford. Come on, baby. 1-2 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour to J.P. Crawford. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Come on, baby. We need all the help that we can get. Come on, JP. Lock in, baby. We're not going to win this game or score any runs if you're not productive. 1-2 pitch. Low and away. Curveball, 81 miles an hour. Misses the strike zone by a couple feet. 2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody on, 2 outs, 1-0 Kansas City.
Oh my God.
2-2 pitch. And there we go. That's exactly what I wanted. JP, go, go, go. Safe at second. What a double by JP Crawford. A nice double to left. And again, it's going to be very key that we have a solid leadoff hitter since we don't have access to Victor Robles since he got hurt early in the season versus the Giants. And again, JP, nice job on getting a hit on one of your first 2 at-bats. Now let's see if Julio can do the same. First pitch, low and at the knees with the slider, 1-0 count. Cameron on the mound. Julio Rodriguez in the box. Let's go, J-Rod. Especially with Cal not starting today. We may see him pinch hit later. But again, we're going to need to be able to try to get 1 to 3 runs within the first 5 to 6 innings to give us a chance in this matchup. I'm not really sure if it's going to be a 1-0 final or a 2-1 final type of matchup. But I know with our hitters, it's not ideally our best lineup for sure. Could be much better. No Cal, no Dominic Canzone, no Luke Raley. And obviously that's based off the pitcher that we're facing. 1-0 pitch. Julio and pops out to second. And unfortunately, that is out number 3. The JP Crawford hit was for nothing. Come on, Julio. He just needs to figure out his identity. Are you a singles hitter or a power hitter? You know, and again, maybe trying to transition into being a singles hitter and working the count could, you know, revitalize his career. But, you know, it seems like we've seen kind of the same thing, you know, in the last 4 years. You know, he had a breakout rookie year, and then after that, everyone had film on him. They know how to pitch to him. You know, he doesn't have the plate discipline. He doesn't have the eyes or the patience, you know, for the game. And again, it's frustrating because we know the kind of talent that he is. But, you know, maybe we need to start bringing in some better players. So he's the 4th best player on the team, kind of like with the Dodgers and Teoscar Hernandez. So there's less pressure. And, you know, you got Mookie, you got Freddie, you got Shohei Ohtani. When they added Teoscar, I mean, it was no pressure. You're just one of the guys. There's other guys in that lineup that are better than you. And, you know, we know Cal is. But if we can end up getting like O'Hearn from the Orioles, who's an all-star this year, or Naylor, or bringing back Eugenio Suarez, who's an amazing player, you know, and getting that extra oomph in the lineup, maybe then, you know, it'll be less pressure on Julio to get the job done. End of the 3rd inning, 1-0 Royals. Next up for Kansas City, 1-for-1 with an RBI, DHing Salvador Perez. Batting second, 0-for-1 right fielder Jack Caglione. And batting third, left fielder in the 7-hole, Drew Waters.
Oh my God.
I mean, I think we have to get to a point where the expectations need to not be so high. You know, again, we get frustrated, but remember, he's not Ken Griffey Jr. He's not Cal Raleigh. You know, he's not that guy. As Perez on the first pitch grounds out to third. So I think once we get to a point where, you know, you start treating him more like Polo and Randy, you know, and that type of player, instead of having him, you know, right next to Cal as like the best player on the team, you know, I don't think he'll ever be that guy. So, you know, again, he can be a good role player for us, but he may not even really be our second best player on the team offensively behind Cal. You know, maybe he's, you know, somewhere in that 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th range. So, you know, we got, you know, a lot of players on the team, but not very many that are consistent. So first pitch from Gilbert to Caglione, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. High and away, takes that strike looking in the zone. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Caglione. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. Nice souvenir there. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Caglione. So I think, you know, a lot of us are going to, you know, have that pressure and that frustration with him. But, you know, we have to realize Julio has not, you know, made the All-Star game every single year since his rookie year. It's not like, you know, he's a guy that is one of the top 5 guys in MLB. So why are we treating him like that? You know, he's not one of the top 5. He's not one of the top 10. He's a popular name. He's very marketable. He typically has a good attitude. He's good at defense. But again, stealing bags, you know, it hasn't been as good. And obviously in the batter's box is the one location where we feel the most frustration. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss by Caglione. Nice job by Gilbert. 2 away. But I think if we can just adjust our mindsets that he's not Cal Raleigh. He's not Ken Griffey Jr. He's never going to be that guy. You know, he's going to be a guy that will make maybe a couple All-Star games, you know, in like a 15-year period. He's not going to be a guy that's going to make the All-Star team, you know, 8 years out of 15. It's just not going to happen. Like, you know, maybe he'll make it 3 or 4 times if he's lucky in a 15-year career, if he goes that long. You know, if he goes 15 to 20 years, you know, I don't really know, you know. Like I said, you know, the maximum times that he'll go is probably not that many, you know. Once every maybe 3 to 5 years, he might have an all-star type of year, and maybe we need to start coming down to those kind of expectations. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Waters. I mean, obviously we got super excited, you know, him coming in as a rookie in 2022 and breaking out, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, he's just going to be a popular player with a good attitude and great defense in center field. And, you know, maybe never develops into that 30-30, 40-40 or 50-50 hitter that we all wanted him to be. You know, but again, if he doesn't put out the effort to watch film and put in the work, you know, this is the results that you get. You're only going to, you know, get what you put in. And if you don't put in the work and you don't have the Mamba mentality, you're never going to reach your full potential. Facts. 1-2 pitch. High and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Waters. Yeah, I mean, you know, using a torpedo bat could be something that could get his game turned around a little bit. But for him, it's mostly plate discipline. You know, being able to see the pitches and knowing when to swing and when not to. And to me, that's a lack of film study. He's not watching film. He doesn't understand how pitchers are, you know, approaching his at-bat. And if he actually understood, you know, how they're pitching to him, you know, that would be the first step. And then the second step is working, you know, with Seitzer and Ichiro and Edgar and putting in extra time, you know, to be able to get contact either for power or just to get singles. And Waters, there we go. Nice punch out there again by Logan Gilbert. Down goes Drew Waters. I love it. And even though the hitting hasn't really been there so far, Logan Gilbert, 4 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 2 walks, and already 6 Ks. He's pacing for 10. 77 pitches, 51 strikes, 3.44 ERA. And let's take a quick peek at Noah Cameron. 3 innings pitched, 2 hits, no earned runs, no walk, 3 Ks, 44 pitches, 30 strikes, 2.63 ERA. 30 plus pitches for obviously Logan. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and let's get on the fucking board. Next up for the Mariners, 1-for-1, a player that's been hot the last couple games, 3 home runs in the last 2 games, left fielder Randy Arozarena. Batting second, 0-for-1, first baseman Donovan Solano. And batting third, 0-for-1, DHing Jorge Polanco. Captain in the building. I was waiting for you all day to show up to help out with that category there. Glad that you're in the building, my guy. We're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. 7 more likes to 40. We're trying to get to a hundo on the likes and a hundo on the dono train. You know, but again, you know, just me evaluating players and talent. You know, I know Julio is a very exciting player to a lot of non-Mariner fans, but if I had a choice, you know, between Julio or Victor Robles, I'm going Victor Robles. You know, Victor is a guy that can play defense. He hustles. You know, he's a better contact hitter, you know, and he has good speed on the bags like Julio, but doesn't get thrown out nearly as often. You know, and again, I feel if we had Victor Robles right now, we wouldn't be 44-41. We probably would have a few more wins under our belt. And, you know, Julio will always be more popular than a guy like Victor Robles.
But, based on, Victor and what he was able to do with us, he was one of the only guys that was able to, hit 300, consistently and actually be an impact guy. And he kind of reminds me of Eugenio Suarez, those type of guys that have good vibes, good attitude, but they produce. And again, not having the three of them together also has, I felt like made Randy a little bit more lazy. No one's holding Randy accountable, and I feel if Victor was there, he could kind of, put in his 2 cents with Julio and Randy, and maybe they could be on the same page as the three amigos. But when you only got the two of them, sometimes you see the lack of hustle by Randy defensively, and then obviously we see the lack of production by Julio in the box. First pitch to Randy Arozarena, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Cal has the day off today, but they may have him pinch hit later in the matchup, depending on what the score is. But this is like one of the first games that we've had Cal with the day off. Again, it's a 162 game season. The guy plays almost every day, usually goes weeks before he ends up not playing. So hopefully we can keep it close, and maybe we'll see him pinch hit later. 1-1 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 1 strike from Cameron to Arozarena. 2-1 pitch, in play, hitting deep, all the way to left field, back to the wall, but it doesn't go out of the park, 1 away. But good contact there from Randy. Maybe the next at bat, we will get that dinger that we need. Next up, first baseman Donovan Solano. Another thing also, too, I feel that we need better right-hand hitters. We're very heavy with the left. And when we don't have guys like Canzone and Luke Raley, and no Cal Raleigh in the lineup, we feel it. Like if you look at our righties in the lineup, Julio, sometimes not worth a damn, right? Randy, obviously has been hot lately, but sometimes streaky. Solano's been pretty good. Polo can go left or right as a switch hitter. Garver typically isn't good, but was good against his former team, the Rangers. Demo's fucking terrible. Williamson and Young have been good lately, but we need more righties. And hopefully at some point, during the trade deadline, we can get Eugenio Suarez and, a few of these other guys that could help us in that category. Not only being a good right-handed hitter, but a guy that could hit for power like Gino. Should have never let him leave. 1-2 pitch, fouled off by Donovan Solano. Right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes with 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th. But at least we're only down 1 with the shitty lineup that we have. But once the starting pitcher goes out and they go to a righty, then we can implement all our lefties. Possibly Cal, definitely Raley and Canzone will probably get an opportunity, and maybe one of those guys will come up with a big RBI and homer to help us win, because a majority of these righties that we have on the team are either injured or they're not very good. Again, but we're much better than what we were last year. You got to remember, we were batting 180 to 220 as a team. Now we're batting around 240 to 250, as a team. So we've definitely improved dramatically under Edgar Martinez, Dan Wilson, and Seitzer, with Ichiro giving his input as well. But, we're very streaky. Sometimes we look very good. Other times, not so much. 1-2 pitch, in play, and fouled out to first, 2 away. Down goes Solano. It's okay, Don. You're one of the guys that actually has been pretty good as of late. All right, next up, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th, Jorge Polanco. First pitch, high and away with the curveball, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Cameron to Jorge Polanco. One pitch, big swing and a miss right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes for Jorge Polanco. But the thing is with Julio, like, what is his identity? Like, we've already seen what he is in these first 4 years. With Cal, you've seen steady progression, getting better and better and better, every single year. With Julio, he came out, guns a-blazing in his rookie year, but then everyone figured him out. Every pitcher, even the shitty ones, figured him out, And again, if you don't have plate discipline, you're never going to be able to be the player that we all want him to be. He'll never hit his potential. So, I'm hoping the best for him, but he's only going to be a guy as Polo strikes out swinging, and that is out number 3, end of the 4th inning. But Julio is always going to be a guy that in a 6-month, 7th-month season, he's only going to be good for like 2 to 3 months. He's not going to be good for a whole season. We haven't seen him do that. He's always shitty in March and April, and that's been consistent throughout his whole career within the first 4 years. He gets hot, typically like in May or June. This year, June has been terrible. And then, when we get into July and August, typically those are months that you get better production, similar to May, where he was good this year for us. But again, it's not consistent. It's like 2 bad months, a good month, a bad month, a good month, a bad month, a good month. It's like we're not really seeing him have 2 to 3 months in a row where he's, on fire. And again, I know last year the breakup with a girlfriend, affected him. He's not willing to use the torpedo bat. And I don't know, it just seems like he's a guy that's, happy that he's in the major leagues, but doesn't want to be the best in the world. He doesn't want to, try to push himself, and again, he doesn't have that Mamba mentality. And, unfortunately, not every athlete does, Jordans and Kobe's, they don't grow on trees. And again, it takes a lot, for someone to be able to want to really push, when no one's watching. And I'm not really sure. Julio seems like a guy that he would rather watch anime, play video games, and hang out with his friends rather than sitting down with Edgar or Seitzer or Ichiro and watching film to try to get better. That's just based on the social media posts and things that I've seen. Now, I'm not his friend. I don't hang out with him. I don't know every single thing that he does on the daily, but it just seems like, he doesn't care as much as others, based on this opportunity, and again, it's like, you have the talent to be a top 10 player overall in MLB, but I don't know if we'll ever see him, achieve that on a consistent basis. But again, I still root for him. He's on our team. We're not trading him. So all we got to do is just hope for the best. And, sometimes expect the worst. Expectations might be just too high for Julio. First pitch from Gilbert to Fermin. Takes a strike looking, 0-1 count. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 3 more likes to 40. Let's go. We're trying to get to a hundo, and we're trying to get to 50, at least by the halfway mark if possible. And we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Fermin. Yeah, I mean, I want O'Hearn from the Orioles. I want Naylor. I want Eugenio Suarez back. I want a couple relief pitchers to give us more depth. We definitely need some right-handed bats that are good, like Gino. You can definitely tell, what aspects of the game that were, solid and other areas where we need improvement. 0-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Fermin. 1-2 pitch, fouled off right down the middle. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Fermin. Yeah, there's no way in hell the Royals would do that. Bobby Witt Jr. is a billion times better than Julio. Bobby Witt Jr. is an all-star every year. Julio, will be lucky if he makes 5 all-star games before his career is up. That might not even happen. So no way in hell that the Royals would do that. 1-2 pitch, in play, and Fermin singles to center. Nice base knock there by Fermin. I see you, Freddie. Next up, center fielder Kyle Isbell. Top of the 5th, 1-0 Royals. And again, sometimes when Logan pitches, he doesn't get the run support. And so far with this shitty-ass lineup with no Cal in it, we're struggling. But hopefully once the pitcher goes out, Cameron, that we can get a righty and he has an epic meltdown. We bring in our lefty bats, Rayleigh, Dominic Canzone, and possibly Cal, and maybe we can find a way to scrape this one out. And we got Brian Wu on the bump tomorrow, so I feel confident tomorrow. First pitch, high and away from Gilbert to Isbell, 1-0 count. Slider with 86 miles an hour heat behind it by Logan Gilbert, 1-0 count. Top of the 5th, runner at first with no outs, 1-0 Royal lead. And if you're just tuning in, not a whole lot has happened. 3 hits for the Royals, 2 for the Mariners. It's been a pitcher's duel. Salvador Perez has always been a thorn in our side, like Jose Altuve for the Stros. Single to left, Witt scored, 1-0 Royals. But, on the bright side, at least we're not down 4 or 5-0 with Gilbert on the mound. 1-0 pitch, Takes the strike swinging low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Isbell. Natman and Cole in the building. What's good? Appreciate that, Master. There we go. We're at 40. 10 more to go to get to 50. And I also think, something that hasn't really been discussed is that Julio does better when there's better players surrounding him. And Isbell sack bunt to first. Wow. Someone knows how to bunt. And again, I wish the Mariners would do it, but again, Dan Wilson really isn't he's better than Scott Service, but he's not going to be the guy that leads us to a World Series and win. He'll be the bridge guy that'll get us to a certain point, and then we'll have to let him go and try to get someone better. But, I want to be able to have someone that steals bags, that's aggressive, that bunts, 1 to 4 times a game and, does all the things that we need to do to try to win. 1-0 pitch to Jonathan India, high and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch from Gilbert to India, high and away with the slider. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to India. Cole caller to get us started. 99 to go. Appreciate you. Let me know what you want to do for a photo, and I got you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks. Little Cactus Jack, bang, bang. Every dollar counts. I appreciate you. 99 more to go. Sounds like a feast there, Nat, man. 2-0 pitch. Takes the strike looking on the line. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to India. But for example, if we traded for Gino and Victor Robles was healthy, that would be less pressure on Julio. Because you got to think right now with no Robles in the lineup and, we don't have too many consistent pieces day in and day out, and maybe in Julio's head, he thinks that he's still the face of the franchise. He understands that Cal is doing, Cal things, but again, maybe it's starting to get into his head now. And it's, again, we know baseball a lot of it is mental, not just physical, and if you start doubting yourself and your abilities, at some point, it feels like he doesn't trust himself in the box. And again, I've never seen a guy that had this much talent with so little plate discipline. And I know, he's a young player, but again, you've seen other young players like Bobby Witt Jr., for example, figure it out. I ended up 2-2 pitch, and India strikes out swinging. Nice job by Logan, 2 away. But I saw Bobby Witt Jr. in his first time as a rookie come to Seattle in 2022 when Julio was a rookie, because I wanted to watch both. And we've seen Bobby get better and better and better. But Julio was great in his first year when there was no tape on him, but hasn't really been that good, since then. He'll have a couple months where he's hot, but not to the Mariners standard, maybe too much pressure of living in Ken Griffey Jr.'s shadow, playing center field. I think that might have something to do with it as well. Also, you have to put in the work. And if you're not willing to put in the work, then these are the results that you get. 1 for 1 with a run and a base on ball. Next up is Bobby Witt Jr. Top of the 5th with a runner at second and 2 outs. 1-0 Royal lead. And let's keep it at 1. That way that we'll actually have a fucking chance here at some point to come back. Yeah, Julio's got more of a skill set than Puig, though. Puig obviously had a couple years where he was pretty hot, but another guy that, didn't really put in the work, outside, just was kind of happy to be there and, was a pretty good player for the Dodgers. But then after that, the career kind of went downhill after that. And I don't think, Julio is much better than Puig. It's not like you're going to see Julio playing, for a foreign country, in a couple years. Julio is going to be in the big leagues for a long time. But again, there's got to be a lot of, different changes in his lifestyle and his work ethic, and plate discipline if we ever see the potential that we want. First pitch to Bobby Witt Jr. from Gilbert, low and away, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Low and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Bobby Witt Jr. Well, if I was managing the team, I would be running this team much differently than Dan. You got to know when to pull guys and when to keep them in. And I don't think that they understand that rule of, if it's the 5th inning and you got runners at first and second or second and third and no outs, even if it's skewball, you pull them. They don't understand that, and they don't bunt. They don't steal bags. They don't do a lot of the small ball things you need to do when you're struggling hitting, or even when you're hot. You need to be able to do these things that other teams are not willing to do. And if you really think about it, how many teams are prepared for a bunt on defense? And the answer is fucking zero. Why do you think 80% of the time when someone bunts clean, they're safe? Because they bobble the attempt, they fuck up the throw to first, right? Or the guy at first fucks up with the attempt to catch the ball. And something as simple as bunting, you think that more teams would do it, but it's one of those things that you barely see in games nowadays, which is a fucking shame. Top of the fifth, 1-0 Royals, runner at second, 3 balls and 1 strike to Bobby Witt Jr. Three-one pitch, and that is a walk. Next up is first baseman Vinny Pasquantino. 0 for 1 with a base on ball and a K. Now we have runners at first and second with 2 outs. Hopefully we can get out of this inning unscathed. I mean, I think I like Dan in some aspects more than Scott Service, because we already kind of knew what we were getting with Scott. The problem is in MLB, it's not like in the NFL where it's like a coaching carousel where you actually might be able to get someone from college football that is elite and then have them come to the NFL, or you can get an offensive defensive coordinator to step up. Or, you go into a coaching carousel with a guy that got fired and then he joins your team. In baseball, you got 30 teams, but realistically, how many good managers are elite in MLB? Like 5? And then you got a couple others that are okay or decent. So it's not the same. It's much harder to be able to find a good manager, and let alone a manager that's going to stick with your team for years and years and years. It's not, something that's easy to find. Flying Monk in the building. What's good? Top of the fifth, 1-0 Royals. Vinny Pasquantino in the box. Logan Gilbert on the mound. I mean, we would be much better off if we had like Lou Piniella, a young Lou Piniella, managing the team that we have here. We would get the most out of our players. And again, if you saw Randy being lazy in left field, he would fucking pull him to the side and yell at him. And that's the type of shit that you need. You don't want someone to be an asshole 24/7, but you want someone to show that emotion and that fire, and sometimes get ejected to stand up for the players or to stand up for yourself. And, we don't really have that. And I think that's something that's really key, that we need. We don't need someone that needs to be everyone's best friend like Scott Service. We need someone that's a fucking leader, someone that's willing to get ejected, someone willing to show some emotion, and then also to have a good staff to know stats and analytics on when to pull guys and when not to. Facts. And Logan Gilbert is exiting the game, and they're bringing in Gabe Spire. It's a little early for Logan to be exiting, but I'll have to look at his pitch count. First pitch from Gabe Spire to Vinny Pasquantino, in there for a strike, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Spire to Pasquantino. And what is Gilbert's number? Oh, he was at 95 pitches. He had a couple innings that he had a lot of pitches, and he finishes with 7 Ks. That's why. I didn't think he was up that high, but as I double check, that's the reason why. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Pasquantino. Top of the fifth with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Royals up 1-0. Yeah, we'll get you some cows in a moment.
Oh my gosh.
1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Vinny Pasquantino in the box. Gabe Spire on the mound. Let's go, Mariner Moose. Find a way. And Pasquantino on the 2-2. Strikes out swinging. Nice job, Gabe. There we go. All right. Well, it wasn't the best performance from Logan Gilbert, but again, he got himself in a couple jams, but only gave up a run, and that's definitely acceptable. You know, again, we've seen a lot of our starters, Gilbert, Wu, Kirby, Castillo, Hancock, you know, give up, 4 or 5 runs lately. Pop obviously got sent down, and Emerson Hancock got sent down, but we may see him get called back up in a couple days, so we'll figure out what they're going to do on that end. And let's go to the bottom of the 5th and see if we can get on the board. All right, one more like to 50. We're about halfway there, and we're still looking for our first dono on our dono train. Leading off for the Mariners, 0 for 1, catcher Mitch Garver. Batting second, 0 for 1 with a K, right fielder Dylan Moore. And batting third, 0 for 1, third baseman Ben Williamson. And we just have to hope and pray that once, obviously Cameron exits the lefty, that they don't bring in another lefty. Because if we're stuck with this fucking almost all righty lineup, we're fucked. We might end up getting a 0 today. But if we can end up getting a righty to come in and he has a meltdown, then we can implement, Luke Raley, Dominic Canzone, and then possibly Cal Raleigh, late in the matchup. And, all it takes is one swing from Cal to get back into a game. And we all know that. So. We're at 199 to go. Let's see if I can get you a couple cows here. And obviously got the vote, counted, and he is the starting catcher for the American League and probably will be for many, many years to come. We're definitely missing his bat in the lineup right now. That is facts. We need you, Cal. First pitch from Noah Cameron to Mitch Garver, high and inside with the cutter, 1-0 count. Come on, Mitch. I know you can play against your former team, but can you do it against anybody else? Let's go. 1-0 pitch in play, and there it is. Garver reached on an infield single to third. Nice hustle by Garv, and he gets on base. Nice job, Mitch. All right, here we go. Next up, right fielder Dylan Moore. And if I'm Dylan, maybe drop the bunt down. Obviously, see if we can move Mitch over to second and get a runner in scoring position. Best case scenario right now is maybe having Demo get walked or get hit by a pitch and not get hurt. That is a crazy thing to say, but, he's got 8 home runs, but all of them are at the beginning of the year like Polo, and has been definitely a liability to the team. It wouldn't hurt my feelings if they sent him down and brought up Harry Ford. We already know what we have out of Demo, and sometimes you got to move on, even with the 8 home runs. 0-1 pitch, high and away, 1 ball and 1 strike from Cameron to Demo. Let's go, baby. It's not easy being a fan of the Pacific Northwest teams, let me tell you. There's going to be a lot of ups and a lot of downs, a lot of heartache, a lot of heartbreak. But one thing is for sure, if you are a fan of a team in Oregon or Washington in the Pacific Northwest, when those teams get elite and good and great, they're very, very good. They might take 4, 5, 6 years to build it. But once they build it, they're going to be championship contenders. And that's how it typically is for most of the teams in the Pacific Northwest if they build it the right way and they have the right coach in place. 1-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Cameron to Demo. 2-2 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, tries to paint the corner and barely misses. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Cameron to Demo. And hopefully we can get Demo to get walked here. And again, Noah Cameron, 2-4 record with an ERA of 2.79. And again, anytime we go against lefties this year, we struggle. We don't have good enough righties in the lineup. 3-2 pitch. And of course, Demo strikes out swinging. Send him to AAA, man. The guy has struck out literally the last 30 fucking at-bats. Get rid of him. Brutal. Bring up Harry Ford. I mean, at least if Harry Ford struggles, we can root for him because he's brand new, Williamson and Young. It's like with Demo, you've outlasted your welcome here. Next up, third baseman, Ben Williamson. 0 for 1. Let's make it 1 for 2. On deck is Cole Young. And maybe we need those two guys at the bottom of the order in JP. Maybe those will be the guys that help us get on the board. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes to Noah Cameron to Ben Williamson. Come on, baby. All right, we're at 50, halfway to the goal. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're trying to get to 100 on the likes and 100 on the Dono train. 50 more on the likes and 99 more on the Dono train. 2-0 pitch, high and inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Ben Williamson. And if Ben is smart, he'll get walked. And then we'll have runners at first and second. Cole can get a hit, and JP can get one as well. So this might be the inning where we actually get 1 or 2 runs right here. We don't want to get nothing in this bottom of the 5th. This is the best chance that we have right here so far. And there it is, Ben Williamson. He's not like Julio trying to be a hero. He understands his role, and he takes the walk. Nice job. Garb to second, Williamson to first. Cole Young, a couple days ago, had a career-high 3-hit game. Had a hit yesterday. Let's see if Cole can get a single here. Best case scenario, obviously, an RBI double or RBI single. But even just getting a single to get bases loaded for possibly JP, as long as we don't hit into a fucking double play, we'll be good. Bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Royals. Gilbert did a good job while he was out there, but did have a couple long innings that extended his pitch count because normally he would be pitching into the 6th or the 7th. But again, it always happens to us. Like we finally actually, not give up 3, 4, 5 runs with our starter. He has a great outing with only 1, and he didn't even give up a homer, but then the bats disappear. It's like we never can get everything together. Starting pitching, bullpen, hitting, power hitting. Like, can we just have a fucking game where we do everything excellent in one game instead of just doing like one thing out of 3 good? It's hard to win games when, you can't hit when the pitching is good. And this was a regular thing for us, obviously, in the last 2 to 3 years, but not so much this year. 1-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle. 1 ball and 1 strike from Cameron to Cole Young. Come on, Cole. I believe, baby. You've been definitely turning the page and turning the corner lately. Him and Ben. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss right down the middle to Cole Young. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Come on, Cole. Get a single here. Unless you can work the count to your favor to get a walk. But it's only 2-2 right now as that pitch is low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 1 out. Royals with a 1-0 lead. Salvador Perez with an RBI single. Early in the game, Bobby Witt Jr. scored, and we're sitting at a 1-0 game. Not a whole lot of action up to this point, but once the starters go out, obviously we've already had Gabe Spire come in for Logan Gilbert. We're just waiting for Cameron to exit, and maybe that's when we can start to rake. A shitty righty in the pen will help us, for sure. 2-2 pitch. High and inside. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Cameron to Young. Hopefully he can get the walk here or a single. Come on, Cole. Come on, baby. Bottom of the 5th. 1-0 Royal lead. Let's tie this up or take the lead, baby. In play. And Young flies out to left. 2 away. Next up for the Mariners, here we go. This is our opportunity right here. If JP Crawford can get a hit, maybe we can tie this game up 1-1. Let's go. 1 for 2. JP Crawford. Come on, JP. I mean, if you really want to get us out of the seats, you haven't hit a home run since Father's Day. You hit a 3-run jack and we go up 3-1. We win. It's something as simple as, just one swing could really change the outcome of a game. And normally that swing will be coming from a guy like Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh, but I'll be happy with just him getting on base. But then you got Julio on deck, and, sometimes Julio will make a play, sometimes he won't. 0-1 pitch, low and away, 1 ball and 1 strike from Cameron to Crawford. Bottom of the 5th, 1-0 Royal lead with runners at first and second and 2 outs. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at first and second and 2 outs. Come on, JP. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We hit the 50 like number. We're still looking for 50 more to get to a hundo. So if you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. And we're at $1.99 to go on the dono train. Come on, JP. Yeah, but also, too, you got to give credit to the pitching on the other side. Noah Cameron obviously is a pretty competent lefty. We haven't really been able to hit against lefties all year because we have a shitty righty lineup. And we do have a couple guys that can switch hit, like Polo as well as Cal Raleigh. But again, we're definitely more top heavy with lefties. And with righties, they're streaky. And if they're off, it's, you get a result like this. It's like we need home runs. We need to be able to get back-to-back hits, and there's not too many guys in this lineup that can do that. JP in play. Here we go. JP, infield single to second, run. Yes. JP Crawford. There we go. And this is a good opportunity. What kind of player are you, Julio? You're 0 for 2 with a K. We don't need you to hit a grand slam. Now, if you do, we win. But it'll be just as good as if you end up getting an RBI single and tie the game up. Like, in your mind right now, when you're in the batter's box, are you swinging for the grand slam? Or can you actually tone it down and just try to pull the baseball for a single to make it 1-0 or 2-1? Again, it's all about having the patience in the box and not trying to be the fucking hero every single time. You can still be the hero even if you don't homer. And I'm not sure if he really has realized that yet. You can help the team out by, getting plunked, taking a walk, having that freebie come in from third to home, and, even getting a single. To make it 1-1 is being productive. The last thing that we need is for him to strike out, pop up, or ground out, or to strike out looking. Come on, J-Rod. Do your job, baby. We want to be able to have this confidence and trust when it ends up being you, in this position that we trust you, that you can actually get a hit and even maybe a home run once in a while instead of being a guy that we're like, oh, well, he's probably not going to do anything, and that's not good when you have a player under that much of a payroll. You want to be able to have that confidence. So. And Cameron is out, and they're going to bring in a new pitcher, Schreiber. And hopefully Schreiber will struggle and have a meltdown against Julio, and we'll see where it goes. But at least we got the starter out finally. And let's pray that Julio will work the count and not just swing at the first pitch and get out. But sometimes with that first swing, that leads to a single, double, triple, or home run. But we need Julio to step up. Let's go. Bottom of the 5th, bases loaded with 2 outs. Julio Rodriguez in the box. Schreiber coming into the game, filling in for Noah Cameron. Let's take a Noah's final line. 4.2 innings pitched, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 80 pitches, 49 strikes, 2.55 ERA. Pretty solid outing for him. And first pitch to Julio in play, and he flies out to center. Unbelievable. Golly, Julio. I mean, that's what you have? First pitch and just to fly out. I mean, again, and, if your plate discipline is going to be like this your whole career, I just can't wait for Victor Robles to come back, because Victor Robles is going to be much more productive than this guy right here. Terrible at bat. With bases loaded, that's what you got for us? You're going to swing at the first pitch and just fly out? Brutal. Be better, Julio. Golly. Next up, third baseman, 0 for 2, Michael Garcia. Batting second, 1 for 2 with an RBI, DHing Salvador Perez. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, right fielder, Jack Caglione. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. But on the bright side, even with Julio and his daily struggles, at least we're not down 2, 3, 4, 5 runs right now. Like really, all it's going to take is one meltdown from a righty, from the Royals, and then we win the game. And remember, we don't have Luke Raley, we don't have Dominic Canzone, and we don't have Cal Raleigh, with at-bats so far today. So, again, when we go against lefty pitching, we got to be able to get, some better righties. And again, no Victor Robles has definitely hurt us tremendously. That's a guy that could bail us out more times than not. And, again, if there was one player at the deadline that I would be shooting for, it definitely, number one, would be Eugenio Suarez coming back to Seattle, because that would give us the good vibes only, but also giving us the singles, the doubles, and more importantly, the home runs that we are lacking, at a position that provides power at third base. Miles Mastroboni and Ben Williamson are just singles hitters, and you can always move some of those guys around, to DH or other positions, but we need Gino, and it shows. First pitch from Spire to Michael Garcia, so they're having Gabe come out again. 0-1 pitch. High and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Spire to Garcia. One pitch to Michael Garcia. Takes a strike, looking low and in the zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Garcia. Top of the 6th, 1-0 Royals lead. Yeah. 1-2 pitch in play, and Garcia flies out to right. Now, if I'm managing the team, obviously I wouldn't send Julio to AAA. We can't afford to do that. But what I would do is I would move Julio low in the order. I would put him like 7th in the batting order, and see if that will help improve, some of these things that he's obviously struggling on. But he definitely does not deserve to be in one of the top 4 or 5 spots in the batting order. Facts. First pitch to Salvador Perez. Takes a strike, looking high and away. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 0 and away. Behind in the count now. 0-2 from Spire to Perez. 0-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Slider 81 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Royals with a early 1-0 lead by a Perez RBI single. Bobby Witt Jr. scored early in the matchup to give him the 1-0 lead. So, we're in this. But again, it's a very weak lineup for sure. 1-2 pitch. And big swing and a miss by Salvador Perez. Nice punch out there by Gabe Spire. 2 away. Nice job, Gabe. Way to bring that electricity. Next up, right fielder Jack Caglione. Yeah, Naylor was good for us as well, as well as O'Hearn. Obviously Naylor would, fill a need. We need help and depth at first, third, and right field, and then relief pitchers. Those are the biggest needs. A little bit more depth at third, a little bit more depth at first, and then a little bit more depth in maybe possibly right field, and then also, getting a few guys to help us out in the bullpen for sure. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Behind the count 0-2 to Gabe Spire. 0-2 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and away, and that is out number 3. Nice job by Gabe Spire. So at least the pitching has been pretty good for Gabe and Logan Gilbert, but the bats, You know, it shows you how important guys like Luke Rayleigh, Dominic Canzone, but most importantly, Cal Raleigh are to this team. Facts. All right, baby. We need something. Who's going to be the guy that's going to help us get this going here? Next up, 1 for 3, left fielder Randy Arozarena. And he's got 2 home runs in the last 3 games. 2 days ago, 1 yesterday. Nothing today, but he did get a single. Let's go, Randy. Maybe we need to rally behind Randy. Batting second, 0 for 2. First baseman Donovan Solano. Come on, Don. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, DHing Jorge Polanco. Come on, Mariners. Step it up, baby. Come on, Polo. We need you. 1-0, Royals lead. All right, we're at 55 likes, 45 more to go to hit the goal. Now we're at 56. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We have at least 20 to 25 people in the room that haven't done it yet. Please do. Help us get to 100 likes and obviously 100 on the dono train. We're at 199 to go. Let's go, baby. Four more likes to 60. Let's get there, baby. Let's go, Mariner Moose. Let's go, Randy. Bottom of the 6, 1-0 Royals. It's crazy, like when you end up, having, guys that you don't trust in the box. You could be down 1-0 with good pitching from Gilbert and Spire, and it feels like we're down like 3 or 4-0. Even though it's only 1, because the hitting has been so piss poor today, but we just need better players in the lineup. 0-1 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Schreiber to Arozarena. And really, all we need is just that solo jack. 48 to 49% of our total runs are home runs. So if we don't homer, we're not winning. We have to homer at least once, even if it's just a solo jack to get us on the board. But if we don't homer at all, we could end up losing this game 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. I hope not. 1-2 pitch, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Schreiber to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Somebody's got to set the tone. Let's go. 2-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Schreiber to Randy Arozarena. Two-two pitch, sweeper, misses the plate. Tries to paint the corner and misses the plate by a couple feet. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Schreiber to Randy Arozarena. Come on, Randy. Take the walk if it's there. No, Gilbert is out. Gabe Spire has pitched the last couple innings. Bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Royal lead. Here we go. Randy Arozarena back. See ya. He stays hot, and I love it, baby. 4 home runs in 3 games, and just like that, we're back in it. Uncle Mo, yes, sir. Randy Arozarena homers to center, 418 feet, and that is a 1-1 tie. Let's fucking go. For as bad as we have been today, that's exactly who I thought would be the guy to get it going. Let's go. It can look piss poor, for 5 or 6 innings, but you just got to have that faith, even when things look terrible. Next up, now we got fucking Luke Rayleigh into the matchup. Here we go. Let's go, Luke. Bottom of the 6th, and we're tied up at 1, baby. Let's go. No, once a pitcher goes out, they can't come back in. That's a standard rule. for baseball if you're not familiar. So if you got any pitcher that's in the game and they exit the game, you can't bring them back in, no matter who they are. Skubal, Skeens, Logan Gilbert, Gabe Spire, don't matter. You exit, you can't come back in. But we got the momentum now. First pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. 0-1 count. Schreiber on the mound, Luke Raley in the box. Let's go, Luke. 0-1 pitch, fouled it off high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs, and there's a good chance that we'll be able to get to 2, maybe even 3 this inning, depending on who they bring in to pinch hit. But I want to see Raley. We got it. I want to see Dominic Canzone. Hopefully we get that. And most importantly, I want to see Cal. I know they're trying to give him a rest, but even if that means that we get 1 at-bat with Cal, that could be the 1 at-bat that wins the game for us. But I'm not sure if they're going to put him in. I guess it really depends on what the score is and how bad we need him at that point. You know, because obviously we don't want him to burn out either. You know, the guy plays like 2 weeks in a row before he ends up having a day off sometimes, sometimes even longer. So 0-2 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes to Luke Raley. Now, Luke is great because he's a guy that, he hustles no matter what, offensively or defensively in play, and he grounds out to first, but he still runs hard, and I appreciate the effort that he does, game in and game out. Next up is Jorge Polanco. So they had Raley pinch hit for Solano there. First pitch to Polo, takes a strike looking high and away, 0-1 count. Let's go, Polo. But the sports gods, they listened. After I mentioned 48, 49% of our runs are home runs, if we don't get at least 1, we don't win. And then, 30 seconds later, boom, solo dinger by Randy Arozarena, 4th home run in 3 games. 2 days ago, 1 yesterday, 1 today. We could only wish if Julio could do something like that, but at least Randy got the job done, and now we have confidence that we can win this now. 0-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. We're tied up at 1. It's been a pitcher's duel. Again, we've had to go with a primarily right lineup with not very many lefties in, and we've definitely struggled in the first 6 innings. But these last 3 innings, we're one of the best teams in MLB in the last 3 innings. So I definitely feel that we could heat up. Hell, the final score might end up being 5-1 or 4-1 if we get the right people in at the right time, like Cal. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Sweeper misses the strike zone barely. 1-2 pitch. And Polo grounds out to second. Throw to first. 2 away. Next up, 1 for 2, catcher Mitch Garver. Let's go, Mitch. We know that you can play well against your former team, the Texas Rangers, but can you do it against anybody else? Come on, Mitch. First pitch, high and away, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, takes a strike looking high and away. Cutter, 87 miles an hour by Schreiber. 1 ball and 1 strike, Mitch Garver. Come on, Mitch. Looking so fresh and so clean with those City Connects. Let's go. One pitch, and Garver pulls 1 to left. Here we go. Nice job, Mitch. He's like, yes, I can do things outside of playing the Rangers, my former team. Yes, you can. He's like, I was looking swaggy in the City Connect. I had to get a hit. Nice job. And now we bring in Dominic Canzone. Like I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we just have to wait for their meltdown to start. And here we go. We just had to get the starter out. Let's go, Dom. Bottom of the 6th, 1-1 with a runner at first and 2 outs. With one swing, Dominic Canzone can make this a 3-1 game. But again, I feel like that strategy, like I've mentioned, where, MLB managers do not think a lefty pitcher, can go against lefty hitters, and righty pitchers, you have to go with a primarily left-handed lineup. Why? Righties can hit righties, lefties can hit lefties. And again, especially if your righty lineup sucks, imagine if we would have played a lefty lineup even against a lefty pitcher. Those guys, if they're better hitters, they're still going to get hits. It's not going to matter if it's a lefty pitcher or a righty pitcher, but for whatever reason, everyone in MLB, does the same thing as everyone else. They kind of copy each other in that respect, which is absolutely stupid. It's like you're telling me that you'd rather go with a righty that can't hit like Dylan Moore rather than someone like a Luke Raley, even if it's going against a left-handed pitcher. Like, there's going to be certain guys that you have more confidence in. Like, it's not going to matter if you're a right-handed hitter going against a lefty if you can't fucking hit like Demo. You're going to strike out. You're not going to do anything. So. And they're bringing in another pitcher now. Schreiber is out. Now Zerpa is coming in, and Zerpa had a little bit of a meltdown last game. They should have kept him in longer. Let's see if Zerpa will throw one right down the middle of the Dom, and we can go with a Dom bomb, and we'll go up 3-1. Let's go. Let's go, baby. Bottom of the 6th, 1-1, Royals and Mariners. Dominic Canzone in the box. Zerpa coming into the matchup. And we got Brian Wu on the bump tomorrow. So I feel confident about that. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to 100 likes before the stream ends. And we're still looking for another dono on our dono train. 0-1 pitch. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Zerpa to Canzone. And if you remember, Zerpa, he can't hit the strike zone. At least yesterday, he was all over the place. So if that's the key, there should be some, a little bit of a calmer type of at-bat here. But let's see here. 1-1 pitch, and Canzone grounds out to the pitcher. I wish he would have waited because, again, this is a guy that can't hit the strike zone. If Dom understood that, he might have been able to take a walk or, end up having maybe a 3-1 count and finding a good pitch to swing at rather than that slow dribbler right there. And that's one thing I feel like inexperienced hitters, you have to understand who you're going against. You just can't do the same approach on every single pitcher that you're facing. You have to do your homework and understand who you're going against. And again, that's why some of the elite people in the box, they knew, like Tony Gwynn, Ichiro, Pete Rose, Rod Carew. They scouted. They know, when guys are good and when guys aren't. And I wish Dom would have watched the film from yesterday, because if he just wouldn't have swung, he probably would have gotten walked. And again, Zerpa was not good, and we bailed him out right there. But on the bright side, at least we got the Randy solo dinger to get it to 1-1. Again, it was getting to a point where we were about to pull all our hair out, sitting in a 1-0 game. Gilbert pitched well, Spire pitched well, and none of our fucking hitters can do anything. But again, Cal not playing today, at least not starting, but we may see him hopefully late. But I'm not sure if we will, but I hope. Let's see who's up next for the Royals here in the top of the 7th. Leading off 0 for 2 with 2 Ks, left fielder Drew Waters. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a K, catcher Freddie Fermin. And batting third, 0 for 1 with a K, center fielder Kyle Isbell. Trident's up, let's go M's. And then we got Vargas coming into the game, replacing Gabe Spire. And I'm not really a big fan of Carlos Vargas. I don't really like him. He definitely, when we first brought him up, he had the long hair and he had that kind of swag, just like we saw from Juan last night, making his debut with the team. But again, as time has gone on, Vargas kind of reminds me of a very wild, poor man's Castillo, where he's just all over the place. He can't really hit the strike zone, tries to throw through the hitters, can't really throw 3 strikes in a row very often. Has to get bailed out by good defense from the Mariners players a lot of the time. A lot of walks. He'll plunk a guy here and there. Gives up, back-to-back hits often. Gives up homers. I don't know. I'm just, there's a lot of guys in our bullpen that I'm just not really a big fan of. And, anytime Vargas, comes up, it makes me nervous. I know there are going to be times where he's good or at least, average, but we'll see what we get here today. 1-0 pitch in play, grounds out to first. And there we go. Waters gets baited on that pitch there by Vargas. 1 away. I'll take that. I'll take any kind of cheap grounders or pop-ups, especially with Vargas on the mound. Next up is catcher Freddie Fermin. First pitch high and inside, almost hits the batter with that sinker. 1-0 count. One-0 pitch. Takes a strike looking at the knees. I don't know what the ump was looking at. That is a ball, 100%, but we get a bailout ball there. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. We're tied up at 1. Salvador Perez, in the beginning of the matchup, got an RBI single. Bobby Witt scored. 1-0 Royals. And then we just got a solo jack by Randy Arozarena. 4 home runs in the last 3 games. 2 days ago, 1 yesterday, 1 today. And Randy is the sole reason why we actually have a chance at this point. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Vargas to Fermin. 2-1 pitch, low and away. 3 balls and 1 strike to Fermin. No, Gilbert's out. Mariners are on their 3rd pitcher now. 3-1 pitch, fouled off. And if you notice, every single pitch is not even in the strike zone. All 5 pitches are outside of the strike zone, and that's why I don't like Vargas. He's just too wild. I would rather have him be in AAA. He's just not ready. Yeah, he was pretty good yesterday. We need to see a little bit more than that sample size, but we need to get Logan Evans, back up on the team. And Jackson Kowar, was kind of hit or miss as well as Fermin gets walked, but again, there's quite a few guys that could be replaced, that we've seen Pop be terrible, Legumina be terrible, Snyder be terrible. We've seen some of these guys, Trent Thornton be terrible. I just want to be able to have others that I trust other than Brash and Bizardo. I mean, even Munoz has fucked us over, lately, blowing a save. So hopefully we can get a little bit more stability. First pitch to Isbell. Man, this motherfucker can't even hit the goddamn strike zone. 1-0 count. And it's like not even close. It's like 2 feet off the fucking plate. Isbell in the box. Carlos Vargas on the mound. 1-0 pitch. Finally, his first strike in the zone and multiple batters. Takes a strike looking with the cutter. It's a miracle. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 1 out. We need a slow dribbler right up the middle for a double play. Can we get it? I hope so. One pitch. Takes a strike looking in the zone. Wow, 2 strikes in a row. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kyle Isbell. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. 5 more likes to 70. We're 35 away from the goal, and we're at $1.99 to go on the Dono train. Top of the 7th, 1-1, Royals and Mariners. Let's go. Two pitch. Fouled off, low and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner at first and 1 out. Carlos Vargas on the mound. Kyle Isbell in the box. Top of the 7th inning, 1-1, Royals and Mariners. Carlos Vargas on the mound for the Mariners. Kyle Isbell in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runner at first and 1 out. We need a double play desperately. 2-2 pitch. Fouled off right down the middle with the cutter. 94 miles an hour by Vargas. 2 balls, 2 strikes, runner at first and 1 out. And we definitely need a double play here or some type of pop-up or ground out. Vargas isn't really the type to strike out too many batters when he comes out to play. Two-two pitch, and got him right on the line, struck out looking, and that's rare for Vargas. I'll take that. 2 away. All right, here we go. 1 more out, and we can get out of this inning. Next up, 0 for 3 with a K, second baseman, Jonathan India. First pitch, high and away, cutter, 95 miles an hour by Vargas, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, big swing and a miss, low and at the hips. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first and 2 outs. Top of the 7th, anybody's game. It was a pitcher's duel, but again, we had a very heavy righty lineup because, obviously Cameron is a lefty, so didn't have access to Cal Raleigh, Luke Raley, or Canzone early. And we definitely paid the price, but at least we were only down 1. So you got to give a lot of kudos to Logan Gilbert and Gabe Spire to kind of keep us in the game. And big kudos, obviously, to Randy for hitting his 4th homer in 3 games to actually give us a chance to win today. 1-1 pitch, fouled off, high and inside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jonathan India. That's another thing about Vargas I don't like. Almost every pitch, it feels like he's almost going to hit the batter. Like, when he throws high and inside, he's like throwing so close that it literally almost hits him in the wrist, the head, the arms, the shoulder. Like, that makes me nervous. And 1-2 pitch and big swing and a miss. And Vargas does his job. Finally. Nice job, Vargas. I haven't said that too often this year. Gets India to strike out swinging. And now we're going to go to the bottom of the 7th and hopefully take the fucking lead. Nice job by Vargas. Pitching has been good today across the board. Gilbert, Spire, Vargas. Even though I'm not really a big fan of Vargas, he did his job, and that's what matters. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 1 with a base on ball, third baseman Ben Williamson. I like this part of the order here. We can get something here. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a K, but has had a 3-hit game 2 games ago. Got a hit yesterday. I think Cole can get a hit here, and he's on deck. And then batting third, having a great game finally here at home, 2 for 3, JP Crawford. So hopefully we can get Ben and Cole on board, and then JP can knock him in and we can take the lead. Let's go. Well, Randy already has gotten hot. I don't know how much hotter you want him to get, Jeremy. He had 2 home runs 2 days ago, a home run yesterday, and a home run today. That's a lot more than anyone else on the Mariners that's been doing lately in the last few games. I mean, I don't know what your definition of hot is. That's pretty hot at this point. No one else has had a run like that in the last 3 games. So, I mean, unless you're wanting Randy to hit another one, to win the game for us, which could happen, but I'm really, really crossing the fingers right now that we can get this individual to hit at least once. And, if we can get this one time, in the 8th or the 9th inning, maybe that will be the difference. But, my gut kind of feels like we're probably not going to have him play today. We're just going to try to win without him, but that's a tough ask. I mean, he did go 0 for 4 yesterday with Julio, and that's why we lost. You can't have, potentially your 2 best players and Cal and Julio go 0 for 4 and think that you're going to win. I mean, it just doesn't happen. And they still got Zerpa in the game. And so now, if we can just get the batters to realize that this pitcher is ass and he can't hit the strike zone, we might be able to get a couple walks or possibly get someone to get hit by a pitch but not hurt, and we can get some guys on the bags. Again, Zerpa is very wild, but again, you have to do your scouting report, and we'll see what we get here. First pitch, Williamson. Oh my, crushes it all the way. Go, go, go. Safe. A nice double by Williamson. I told y'all. Let's go, baby. Ben starting it off. Next up, Cole Young. And Cole can get a single. Let's go, Cole. On deck, JP Crawford. This might be the inning where we get 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. Let's go, Mariners. Tridents up. Nice job by Ben. Crushed it. And I like the way that Ben and Cole have been producing lately. And look at that. First pitch from Zerpa. What does Cole do? He bunts, but it goes foul. At least someone is listening. There we go. 0-1 pitch. High and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike from Zerpa to Young. And that would have been an amazing bunt if it would have been able to drop. And then we would have been able to hopefully get Ben. But again, if you're going to be dropping the bunt down, you can't drop it at third, because obviously you have a runner at second that's trying to get to third. So you got to bunt towards first. So that way you're sacrificing yourself and there's no chance for them to throw to third to get Ben. The last thing that we want is Ben to get thrown out off a shitty-ass bunt attempt. 1 ball and 1 strike to Cole Young. Zerpa on the mound. Big Ben Williamson with a double on the first pitch, which is fantastic. And we got a 1-1 lead, and we are threatening, baby. Let's go. This would be a big win for us. And again, if we win this, we can win tomorrow and win 3 out of 4, against the Royals. And again, it's not always going to be pretty when we play. And Young grounds out into the fielder's choice to the pitcher. Oh, baby. And look at this. JP Crawford going for a bunt as well, but it goes foul. Like, why is it taking this long for them to realize bunting can fucking work? But you got to place it perfectly. Bottom of the 7th, 1-1 tie. Zerpa on the mound. JP Crawford in the box. Let's go, JP. Nice day for JP Crawford. 2 for 3. Let's keep it going, baby. Reflect in the building. What's good? Oh, 1 pitch in play and a sack bunt to third. There we go. Next up is Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, J-Rod. Bottom of the 7th with runners on board. We just need to be able to knock them in, baby. Let's go. Yeah, Williamson safe. Appreciate you, Reflect. Now pitching change. Cruz coming in. I was hoping that Zerpa was going to stay in there, but JP Crawford, sack bunt. Williamson, I see you. Williamson to third, Cole Young to second. Come on, baby. Steven Cruz. Oh, there we go, baby. Julio singles on a ground ball to shortstop Bobby Witt Jr. Deflected by Michael Garcia. Ben Williamson scores. Cole Young to third. 2-1 Mariners. Let's go. There we go. That's the Julio that we all love. There we go. Nice job. Next up is Randy Arozarena. Let's go, Randy. Got 4 home runs in the last 3 games. Keep it going, baby. Oh, 1 pitch. High and inside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. One pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Come on, baby. Awesome that Julio finally, stepped up. Obviously, when we had bases loaded, and we were hoping that he would come up big and choked, on that first pitch. But again, he comes up big here today, and again, we're just going to have to be able to go through the ups and downs with a player like that. 2-1 pitch, and Randy Arozarena out on a sac fly to center to Kyle Isbell. Cole Young tags up from third, and safe. There we go. Hell yeah. Deep enough hit there, and nice job by Cole with the speed to come home. And just like that, in a game that we were down 1-0, and it felt like maybe we never were going to come back. And just like that, with a couple guys having a meltdown, right? Now we're at 3. How things can change so quickly, in a matchup where it can look so bad for so long, for hours on end. And then all of a sudden, in a matter of 5 minutes, you can get 3 runs and feel really good about the direction of the Seattle Mariners at this point. First pitch to Luke Raley, high and away, 1-0 count. Pickoff attempt at first. Yeah, we both had a little bit different ideas of what we thought about Cal and whatnot. I was a little bit more on board than you and whatnot, but I think at the end of the day, we both can agree it's nice to be able to have one of the top 3 players in MLB right now on the roster with Judge, Ohtani, and Cal Raleigh. So especially since Julio hasn't fully developed into the player that we thought that he would be. So 1-1 pitch. And that one is fouled off. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Cruz to Luke Raley. One-two pitch, and then big swing and a miss. Luke Raley strikes out swinging. And that is the end of the 7th inning, but the damage was done, and we take a 3-1 lead, and, that might be enough to win the game just with what we did right there. Nice job. What a job by the Mariners there. Great. Julio Rodriguez singles on a ground ball to the shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr., deflected by Michael Garcia, the third baseman. Ben Williamson ends up scoring. 2-1 Mariners. And then you get Randy Arozarena, sac fly to center field. Kyle Isbell catches it, but the throw not in time to Cole Young. 3-1 Mariners. Nice job by the team. Let's go. Next up, 1 for 1 with 2 base on balls, a run, and a stolen bag, Bobby Witt Jr. Batting second, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and 2 Ks, Vinny Pasquantino. Batting third, 0 for 3, Michael Garcia. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Like, sub, donate, comment, share. If you haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. Help us get to a hundo on the likes. And we're still at $1.99 to go on the dono train. We're 27 likes away. We're at 73. Now we're at 74. 26 more likes to go to hit the goal. And we're at $1.99 to go on the dono train. And we got Brash in the game now. Hopefully Matt will be dominant. First pitch, called a strike right down the middle with the slider. 83 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Let's go, Matt. Wheel and deal, baby. Brash on the mound. Bobby Witt Jr. in the box. 0-1 pitch. High and away, 1 ball and 1 strike to Bobby Witt Jr. 1-1 pitch, slider, 3 feet off the plate, 2 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Bobby Witt Jr. 3-1 Mariner lead here in the top of the 8th. We're feeling pretty good. We might be able to add on another run or 2, and it's the same thing that I mentioned a few innings ago when the score was 1-1. You know, all it takes is 1 meltdown by a pitcher, and we might be able to win 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, and we're right on pace for those numbers. 2-1 pitch. Takes a strike right down the middle. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Bobby Witt Jr. And 2-2 pitch. Witt singles on a line drive to right fielder Dominic Canzone, and it drops in fair. Nice single there by Bobby Witt Jr. He's a stud. Next up is first baseman Vinny Pasquantino, 0 for 2 with a base on ball and 2 Ks. Let's go, Brash. First pitch into Vinny Pasquantino. And he singles on a ground ball right in front of Dominic Canzone. Now you got runners at first and second with no outs. We've got to be careful here, Matt Brash. Let's go. Now we got a mound visit. Michael Garcia up next. And you typically don't see Brash give up back-to-back hits, but hopefully we'll be able to get out of this jam. Let's go, baby. First pitch. Fouled off high and inside with that sinker. 0-1 count. Got to try to find a way to get a punch out and a double play, or a double play and a punch out. Let's go, Matt. He's really the only player that hasn't fucked up all year. You know, and we're already so far into the season, getting closer to the All-Star break, and I'm not wanting him to have that first fuck up here today. 0-1 pitch. Low and away. Sinker misses the plate by a couple feet. 1 ball and 1 strike to Michael Garcia. 1-1 pitch. Low and away. Slider misses the plate again by a couple feet.
Oh my God.
2 balls and 1 strike from Brash to Garcia. Where's the knuckle curve at? Sinker, slider, slider. On deck is Salvador Perez. Two-one pitch. And Garcia flies out sharply to center. Julio Rodriguez is there. Bobby Witt Jr. to third. 1 away. All right, got runners on the corners now at first and third with 1 out. And hopefully we can get a double play, just a slow dribbler right up the middle to JP, throw to first, and we can get out of this inning. First pitch, high and outside. Slider, 1-0 count. Come on, Brash. Salvador Perez in the box, Matt Brash on the mound. Top of the 8th inning, 3-1 Mariners. Big swing and a miss. That slider. Salvador Perez got baited. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Salvador Perez. Come on, Brash. One pitch. Oh my. And just like that, the lead is starting to evaporate. And now the Royals get in 1, and now it's 3-2. Unbelievable. Salvador Perez singles on a sharp line drive to center fielder Julio Rodriguez. Bobby Witt Jr. scores. John Rave to second. And now we got runners at first and second with 1 out. Now another mound visit here. 4 more likes to 80. Let's get there. Who's going to be up to do the next dono on our dono train? Come on, Brash. Got to find a way to hang on. Let's go. Yeah, but I mean, we're still ahead by a run. And again, Brash has, traditionally been fantastic. He's our #1 guy in the pen, so he hasn't fucked up once all year. There's not very many people that can say that at this point in the season. First pitch, low and away with that changeup. 90 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Come on, Brash. Now in the box is Canglione. Jack Caglione in right field in the box. Matt Brash on the mound. But again, if you're not a regular Mariner watcher and all you're doing is doing parlays, you wouldn't know that information. So most people that just do betting, they don't really know as much as people that actually are fans of the team. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss on that changeup. Right down the middle and low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1-2 pitch. And Caglione strikes out swinging. There we go, baby. 2 away. Next up will be left fielder Drew Waters. And again, if we give up a run, so be it, as long as we still have that 3-2 lead. And we have a good chance on maybe even getting 1 or 2 more before this one is up. First pitch to Drew Waters. Fouls that one off with the slider. 0-1 count. Let's go, Brash. Wheel and deal, baby. Top of the 8th, 3-2 Mariners lead. And it's not often that Brash gives up a run. I mean, that's one of the first times that he's done that in a long time. But again, we can still win this game. We're up a run. And there's still a good chance that we might be able to get one or two more in the 8th or the 9th, depending on who they bring in. Oh, 1 pitch into the dirt. Got to be better, Brash. 1 ball and 1 strike from Brash to Drew Waters. Come on, baby. Runners at first and second with 2 outs. 1-1 pitch. Another pitch in the dirt with the changeup. We haven't seen too much of this version of Matt Brash in a minute. Top of the 8th, 3-2 Mariners lead. Runners at first and second with a 2-1 count and 2 outs. 2-1 pitch, and Waters grounds out to third baseman Ben Williamson. Throw to first. Got him. There we go. So he gives up 1, but we still have a 1-run lead, so he did his job. And again, most of the time he doesn't give up any runs. But again, this is the MLB. Shit happens, right? And again, we still have a lead. We didn't blow it. And again, hopefully we'll be able to add on a little bit more here. Nice job by Brash. All right, let's see who's up next here for the Mariners. See if we can add on a little bit more for some insurance. Next up for the Mariners, 0 for 3 with a K, Jorge Polanco. Batting second, 2 for 3, catcher Mitch Garver. And batting third, 0 for 1, Dominic Canzone. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Bottom of the 8th inning, 3-2 Mariners. Yeah, is that good? I mean, he's still the best pitcher on the staff. Better than Bizardo. More reliable than Munoz, day in and day out. I mean, Brash is the most reliable player we have on the team, if we're really being honest. And hopefully we can get a little bit more here out of Polo, Garver, or Canzone. And Taylor Clark coming in for Steven Cruz. I mean, at June 11th, for a period of a week and a half, 2 weeks, we had the number 1 bullpen in MLB. And then that was right before we had the meltdown by Zach Pop, but again, bullpen has actually been very good overall in June. So first pitch to Polo, and grounds out sharply to Bobby Witt Jr. Throw to first, 1 away. Next up is Mitch Garver. Come on, Mitch. First pitch, and they're called strike with that slider in the zone, 0-1 count. Dominic Canzone on deck. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. Nice fastball there by Clark, and now we have a batter timeout. No balls, 2 strikes with 1 out. Clark on the mound, Garver in the box. And we need 24 more likes to be able to hit the goal. If you're in the room and haven't smashed that like button yet, please do. We're at 76, now 77. We're trying to get to a hundo before the game ends. 1-2 pitch, and Garver strikes out swinging. Not surprised there. 2 away. Next up, right fielder Dominic Canzone. First pitch from Clark to Canzone, high and away with that slider, 1-0 count. Doesn't really feel like we're going to get any more runs this inning. If we do, obviously if we're up, we're not going to have an opportunity in the bottom of the ninth to hit if we're still up 3-2. So, we either get it here or we don't get any more. So 1-0 pitch, high and away. But again, if we end up winning this game 3-2, I don't think any Mariner fan's going to complain. I mean, especially when we were down 1-0 for a good majority of this matchup. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Clark to Canzone. 2-0 pitch, high and away. 3 balls and no strikes to Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. Lauren in the building. What's good, brother? .3-0 pitch on the corner, called strike. Should have been probably ball 4, but 3 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. We're in the bottom of the 8th. Mariners up 3-2. Clark on the mound. Dominic Canzone in the box. .3-1 pitch, and Canzone grounds out to Jack Canglione, and that is out number 3. There we go. Appreciate you. Stacks on stacks, racks on racks with a little Cactus Jack. Bang, bang. Let's go, baby. Let's win this. You know it. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you. We're at 11, 89 to go. Last opportunity for the Royals, 1 for 2 with a base on ball and a K. Catcher Freddie Fermin. Batting second, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. Center fielder in the 9-hole, Kyle Isbell. And batting third, back at the top of the order, 0 for 4 with 2 Ks. Second baseman Jonathan India. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Let's win this. Andres Munoz entering the game. Hopefully it'll be better from the last time that we saw him when he blew the game, which I don't think he'll do here today. I think we'll get the good Munoz today. Let's go, baby. Top of the 9th inning, 3-2, Mariners lead. We need that electricity, Munoz. And you'll know when Munoz is on or not. When he's off, he's going to, walk a guy, hit a guy, give up, back-to-back base hits, and then you're in trouble. So hopefully he can get ahead of the count on some of these batters. First pitch, low and away. 4-seam fastball misses the strike zone by a little bit. 1-0 count. Come on, Munoz. I mean, if we would have kept Brash in last time for Munoz, maybe we would have won the game. But, we typically have a certain type of setup, where you have your main closer do what he does. 1-0 pitch. 4-seam fastball called strike, low and in the zone. Nice pitch there by Munoz. 1 ball and 1 strike from Munoz to Fermin. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fermin. One-two pitch, and Fermin flies out to second baseman Cole Young. 1 away. There we go, baby. Sorry, Freddie. Not today. Next up, center fielder Kyle Isbell. And this definitely, if we end up winning this game, it definitely wasn't one of those like pretty, wins. It definitely was pretty ugly, but we'll find a way. Even if it ends up being low scoring, we're typically not built to win, scoring 1, 2, 3 runs, but we're going to have a good chance here. First pitch from Munoz to Isbell, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. Come on, Munoz. 1-0 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and no strikes from Munoz to Isbell. Back-to-back sliders not hitting the zone. Come on, baby. 2-0 pitch, low and at the knees. Sinker misses again. 3 balls and no strikes to Kyle Isbell. Come on, Munoz. You're better than this. Top of the 9th, 3-2 Mariner lead, 3-0 pitch, and finally a 4-seam fastball right down the middle, and Isbell takes that strike. 3 balls and 1 strike from Munoz to Isbell. We just got to find a way to jam him here, get him to pop up or ground out. I mean, unless we're lucky enough to get the punch out on him, but he'll have to foul off this next pitch. And he does. 3-1 count, 4-seam fastball fouled off, and just like that, going from a 3-0 count to a full count. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Kyle Isbell. Let's go. Punch him out or get him to pop up or ground out. Let's go. Come on, Munoz. Meow. He loves his cats. 3-2 pitch, fouled off high and away. Count still full. 3 balls, 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. And hopefully Munoz can shut the door down here. He definitely needs to make up for his last outing where he blew the game for us. And we got Brian Wu on the bump tomorrow, so I feel very confident we can win tomorrow. And if we do that, that's winning 3 out of 4. The Pirates have won 6 in a row, but that's, at home. So, and Isbell on a 3-2 pitch flies out to Randy Arozarena, baby. 2 away, 1 out away from victory. Let's go. And potentially the last batter for the Royals, second baseman 0 for 4. Let's make it 0 for 5, baby. Jonathan India. Let's go, Munoz. Bring that electricity, baby. And we're not going to see Skeens because he pitched yesterday against the Cardinals. So even though the Pirates have been hot lately, winning 6 in a row, that's been at home. They're not very good on the road. So we will have a good chance, starting on the 4th of July when I'm there in Seattle at T-Mobile to be able to hopefully win 2 out of 3. 0-1 pitch. And another 4-seam fastball in the zone. Now behind in the count 0-2 to Jonathan India. And now a batter timeout when we're down to our last strike. Here we go. And again, this is definitely a game that we could have lost. If Randy doesn't hit the home run to get us on the board, maybe we end up losing this game, 2-0 or 2-1. So 0-2 pitch. And the slider is fouled off in the zone, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on in the top of the 9th. 3-2 Mariners lead. Let's go, baby. Bringing that heat. Yeah, anytime you can end up, breaking triple digits, that's what we want, right? Come on, Munoz. Top of the 9th, 3-2 lead. No balls, 2 strikes, nobody on with 2 outs. 1 strike away from victory, baby. Oh-2 pitch, and big swing and a miss, and there it is, baby. Final score, Seattle Mariners 3, Kansas City Royals 2. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Nice job, Munoz. And that definitely was a game that, we definitely could have lost. But again, we were down 1-0 forever for the first 6 innings. And then we ended up getting 1 in the 6th, 2 in the 7th, and that ended up being just enough. Final score, Seattle Mariners 3, Kansas City Royals 2. And when the Mariners win, what do? We fucking dance. Mariners win. Mariners win. Mariners win. Fuck yeah. Big win. And we're going to use that momentum going into tomorrow. And we actually have proven we can win without Cal Raleigh in the lineup, which isn't very easy to do. Cal gets a day of rest. Cal makes the All-Star game as a starting catcher, and we get the win without him, which is going to be pretty fucking rare. And we got Brian Wu on the mound tomorrow. And, I like our chances with Brian Wu, baby. Vargas gets the win. Munoz gets the save. Let's go. Anything that you want to be able to see? Photo-wise and whatnot. Reflect. Anything you want on there, let me know. And then tomorrow's game will not be at 6:40 Pacific for whatever reason. This game will be at 7:10. So it'll be the last game on the MLB slate tomorrow. And hopefully we can find a way to win 3 out of 4 against a Kansas City Royal team that honestly has been struggling in 2025. Half of their lineup is completely different from last year. And, really the only team in the division that is doing well is the Tigers. Everyone else is below 500, believe it or not. Guardians, Twins, and Royals. So we need to take advantage of that. I got you. And nice to see Munoz come up in the clutch, not blow the game for us like he did last time. And Munoz is normally very, very good. He's only going to blow a couple saves in a whole season. But we just have such high expectations for our great players. And when they let us down, it fucking stings. But no letdown today. He did his job. And our bullpen has been really fucking good. Other than the Zach Pop, which we, obviously sent away and did that this morning. And they sent down Emerson Hancock, but they may bring him back up. I wouldn't mind seeing Logan Evans get another shot to take over Hancock. Let Hancock go play for a couple weeks and try to improve. And, hopefully they bring Logan Evans up. But we will find out. And nice for Julio to step up, especially when he had bases loaded and, didn't give us anything. And then the next time up, ended up being one of the heroes of the game. And again, we have such high expectations for guys like Julio. And, again, there's a lot of pressure on him as well, living up to the King Griffey Jr., center field type of status. But again, it's always nice when Julio, after struggling a little bit, finding his rhythm and finding his way and actually being a part of the winning recipe. Nice job, Julio. All right, well, I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Final score, Seattle Mariners 3, Kansas City Royals 2. I will be live tomorrow for the Brian Wu matchup, and that'll be at 7:10 Pacific, and we'll be going for our third win out of 4 games against the Royals. The Pirates have won 6 in a row. That's the next opponent that we have starting on the 4th of July, which I will be there on Friday. But again, they're not very good on the road. All those 6 wins happened at home, and we're not going to see Skeens. So there's no excuse, even though they were hot lately, we should be able to win 2 out of 3 against the Pirates, potentially even possibly sweeping if the bats come alive and the pitching is solid. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. Shout out to Cole and Reflect to help out with the dono train, as well as Captain doing his duties there for the mod and the likes and whatnot. I appreciate you very, very much. Final score, Seattle Mariners 3, Kansas City Royals 2. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics, and I'm out. Go Mariners, Tridents up.